Hello my friends, my name is Dr. Corey Wren. I'm a vegan feminist, a vegan sociologist, and a vegan witch. And here we are, it is Lunasa season. And as I'm recording this marks a whole wheel of the year that I've been producing videos for this humble little YouTube channel. So I hope that you found it very helpful. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why Lunasa is one of the default sabbats for the vegan witch. Stick around. If you're new here, vegan witchcraft is all about reclaiming witchcraft, reclaiming nature-based spiritual practices for vegans, because actually, if we go back far enough, patriarchy is really responsible for domestication and hunting and oppressing non-human animals. And it really is actually our legacy as human beings on this planet to live symbiotically with fellow animals. So vegan witchcraft is about reclaiming that natural heritage, that legacy of compassion. Unfortunately, in the Wheel of the Year, which is kind of based around solar cycles, a lot of that has to do with agriculture and unfortunately a lot of hunting and animal slaughtering. So in vegan witchcraft, one of the things I'm trying to do is draw our attention to practices around the sabbats that are not necessarily about hurting other animals. So Lunasa, by the way, Lunasa is basically the Celtic word for August. But Lunasa, I think actually in Irish they pronounce it Lunasa, but I always say Lunasa because I'm a southern lady. But it basically is a celebration of the Celtic god Lu, and Lu is the sun god. Now in the northern hemisphere, August is hot, hot, hot. This is the height of summer's sun power, and this is when all that first harvest is coming to fruition. So the very first harvest of this solar season is going to be a wheat harvest, grain harvest. So to celebrate Lunasa, one of the easiest ways we can do that is to bake bread. And it doesn't have to be wheat-based for those gluten-free, wheat-free people out there. I have 2 of them in my vegan coven, so I get it. There's lots of other types of grains that we can be celebrating this time of year, and you can bake lots of fun things with them. So much in witchcraft, there is this sort of fetishization of birds' eggs. Because what is in a bird's egg but everything that is needed to begin a new life? It's a sort of liminal entity between the past life of the mother hen and the future life of this new chick. But when we do this in witchcraft, we're not really paying attention to the fact that almost all of our interactions with non-human animals are very oppressive. Birds, where we get their eggs from, like it's a horrific industry, and even backyard hen operations are really, really problematic. All of these birds are going through serious bodily trauma in order to produce eggs for humans to consume. I can't get into it in this video. It'd be a whole side video, and I probably will do a video on that soon. But for now, I think we need to be moving away from that as vegan witches, because birds' eggs, as we come to procure them, are almost always exploitative and problematic. But when we look at grain, when we look at seeds, when we look at grain, there is a whole plant-based type of symbolism there and mythology associated. We don't have to rely on birds and birds' eggs in order to get that, because grain, this is even further back than birds' eggs, because where do birds get their energy from? They're using grain as well. They're using the sun, they're using grain, just like us. So we can work then with grain magic. It doesn't have to be wheat magic, but we can work with grain magic in our witchcraft, and Lunasa is a perfect time to do that. We're working with the sun, we're working with its impact on plant life. I've already done a video recently on solar magic, sun magic from a vegan witch perspective, but essentially we are beings of the sun. Our rhythms are guided by the sun. Our rhythms are guided by the seasons of the sun as well. Also, we are able to metabolize certain types of vitamins, create energy through our interactions with the sun. So it is important for us to honor the sun as a major part of us. And this is important. It seems maybe quite simplistic, but this is one of the things I'm trying to do with vegan witchcraft is actually point out the obvious. Because so much so in vegan activism and doing work for non-human animals, we get so hyper-focused on these horrible things that are happening. We get very rational, get wrapped up in the ethics and the philosophy and the reason, but we don't always stop to think that actually we ourselves are animals grounded in nature as well. We are impacted by things that are happening out in the cosmos, the cycles of the moon, cycles of the sun, turning the earth. All these things are impacting us and allowing us to have energy to move, to think, impacting our moods, everything. So that's why I think it's important to just stop and ground ourselves. The sabbats are an easy way to do that. So if you're brand new to witchcraft, this is probably the easiest thing that I would say to get more involved. First of all, really the easiest thing is start paying attention to the moon cycles and the sun cycles. But beyond that, start celebrating the sabbats, even if it's as simple as, this is Lunasa and I'm going to bake some bread. And when you're baking the bread, sometimes witches will put symbols in the bread so that when it bakes, it's a little magic sort of rune on it or whatever, or a symbol of protection. But when you're baking the bread, when you're kneading the bread, all that is sending intention into it. You're putting your physical energy into the production of this gluten, production of this bread. It is a very hands-on type of ritual working. And it's a meditative practice as well, isn't it? So this is a very simple way that you can practice Lunasa in a very vegan way. Bread is traditionally vegan, right? No problem there. But this is a great Sabbath to get us going for the Wheel of the Year if you're brand new to witchcraft, because no animals are harmed here. Well, we can go a little bit deeper into that. I was talking about birds' eggs and things like that, but another fetishization in the witchcraft community is honey. Well, we don't always stop to think about like what the bees have to go through in order for us to procure that honey. And it's also a deeply industrialized and exploitative practice. Even the backyard beehives are really problematic and quite fatal for bees. Now, why am I bringing this up? It's because a lot of times in witchcraft, when you make the fresh bread, it's assumed that, well, it must be paired with honey, because honey has got this magical quality to it. What makes it magical, actually, is that a bee had to produce it, because there's tons of other nature-based, plant-based sugars out there, but we don't romanticize them the same way we do with honey, because what we're really doing as human beings in a human supremacist society is we're fetishizing that exploited labor of non-human animals. And it's a type of animal sacrifice, and it's just not appropriate, I think, for really good nature-based magic where we're trying to work with nature, not above it. The other reason bees are relevant here, so Lunasa is a vegan Sabbath, but just keeping in mind that how are we able to produce all of these harvests? Sadly, because of the industrialization of our food system, the bees are not really naturally doing that work so much anymore, and now increasingly they are industrialized themselves and carted around in order to fertilize even the fruits, grains, and nuts for us to eat. So even plant-based foods nowadays, maybe not technically vegan because it's relying on a lot of animal labor to fertilize. Anyway, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on Lunasa because I think that this is a really good classic vegan Sabbath. Now we're moving into sunflower season, and if you're a vegan, you know exactly what the sunflowers are about. This is really old school vegan symbolism, the sunflower. The Vegan Society even uses it as their logo. So what is the sunflower representing? It's representing our connection to the sun, our connection to the soil, our ability to thrive, and an important source of plant-based nutrition and beauty, right? So maybe this Lunasa, you bake some bread, you give honor to the bees, go plant some wildflowers that support pollinators, and yeah, do some magic with some sunflowers. I have a video on that. So I hope you have a really blessed Lunasa. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit like and definitely subscribe. I have a whole series on the sabbats, the Wheel of the Year, that has all been veganized. And if you want to know more about this, I have a whole book on it, Vegan Witchcraft, and I have a whole chapter where I explore the Wheel of the Year. But I hope you're really keeping it witchy this season, and go out there and do some magic with the sun.